Hello everyone, welcome to a new video on the channel. Today's video is going to be my next episode in my collection series for this year. We're up to the ends. Not as many ends as there have been previous letters. A bit more than the O's though. So I'm just going to get straight onto it and yeah, just get straight onto it. So first up we have the Nan movie. I kind of blind bought this. I watched the series when they did that. I don't know if it was like a revival about probably longer than that now, years ago. So I thought I'd get this, give it a go, but I saw the trailers, they looked awful, so I was very hesitant to go into it, but it is actually quite enjoyable. I enjoyed it, I laughed quite a bit. Very heartfelt as well, more heartfelt than I thought it would be. And yeah, overall, good comedy. Then we have The Naked Gun. This is the first one. I've tried getting the other two, but they're quite expensive because they're all out of print now. So, oh wait, I'll get them eventually. We've obviously got the remake with Liam Neeson coming out next year, which will be interesting. But this is just a classic comedy. Leslie Nielsen's just excellent as Frank Drebin. Just a really great character and a great film. Next up we have Nanny McPhee, which is still sealed, one that I grew up on, childhood favourite of mine that I just thought I needed to add to the collection, but I've not actually got around to going back to it since I got it, which is about a year ago now. So yeah, I'll probably rewatch this fairly soon alongside the sequel, Nanny McPhee and the Big Bang, which I remember watching at the cinema. It's a decent sequel. It's not as good as the first, I don't think, but it's still pretty good. It would have been nice if they'd have done a trilogy. Would have been nice to see a trilogy, but I doubt that's going to happen now. But yeah, that's Nanny McPhee and the Big Bang. Next up we have Near Dark, which is a Catherine Bigelow film about vampires. Highly enjoyed this. Got this one earlier in the year. Really enjoyed it. Yeah, just it's a different take on vampire stories. Mid-80s film. It's not too long either. We've got a really good supporting performance from Bill Paxton in this, who's just great. He's great in everything he's in. Just like a psychotic member of this vampire gang. But yeah, really good. If you like your vampire films, this is definitely a must-watch, in my opinion. Next up, we have Nebraska. I tried getting the UK release of this, but that looks like that's out of print as well, so it was cheaper to get this. Unfortunately, the slipcover's a bit damaged, but I'm not too bothered about this. This is an Alexander Payne film, and I really like this. This kind of put June Squibb on the spot, who plays the wife of Bruce Dern's character in this. I believe she was nominated for an Oscar for her performance in this. And obviously this year she stars in her first starring film, Thelma, which I also thoroughly enjoyed. But yeah, this is about a father and son who go on a journey to claim $1 million prize that may not be as it seems. It's quite funny, it's heartfelt, it's a road film. If you like those sorts of films, shot in black and white as well. Yeah, I really enjoyed this. Highly recommend that one. Next up, we have The Negotiator with Kevin Spacey and Samuel L. Jackson. This is one of those like 90s thrillers that you got a lot of. This is like a hostage siege type film, which I really like those sorts of films, and it's done really well. You got Samuel L. Jackson, who plays like a hostage negotiator, and he's framed for murder. And he wants to. The only way he can see to prove that someone set him up is to basically become a hostage taker, to take people hostage, to try and find out who set him up, why they've set him up. And then they bring in Kevin Spacey, who's like kind of a different type of hostage negotiator. It's really good, really tense thriller. It's quite long. It's 2 hours, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. But yeah, it's a really good film. If you've not seen it, another one that I definitely recommend. Next up, we have Network, which is a Sidney Lumet film, which won quite a lot of Oscars back in the 70s. You've got Faye Dunaway, William Holden, Peter Finch, and Robert Duvall. Just about a news network and how they deal with basically their lead anchor, played by Peter Finch, he kind of goes on rants. He's been going on rants because they're gonna let him go, um, and it's kind of how they deal with it, how they're trying to deal with it. I really liked it. I thought it was a really good film. Everyone's good in it. It's one that I'm definitely gonna watch again. Network. Then we have The Neverending Story, one that I only just discovered for the first time earlier in the year. And probably watched bits and pieces of it when I was growing up, but I couldn't remember much about it. It's not for everyone. I didn't love it. I enjoyed it for what it is. It's one that will stay in the collection because I will go back to it again. But it's just got a weird type of feel to it. It's the same with like Labyrinth, Dark Crystal. I just find those films, just the style of them, a bit weird. Hard to get my head around, like a lot of the 80s things like this did. But yeah, it was an enjoyable story. I like the story. So yeah, that's The Neverending Story. Then we have The Next 3 Days, which is starring Russell Crowe, about a man who has to try and prove that his wife didn't commit a crime that she's been arrested and imprisoned for. And so he can't do that, so he's got to try and break her out of prison. So he gets the help of Liam Neeson. He's not got a really big part in it, but he's really good in it, the little part that he does have. But Russell Crowe's great in this. I love the director of this film. He's done, in my opinion, 3 great films. He did Crash, then he did one called In the Valley of Elah with Tommy Lee Jones, which I like, and then he followed it up with this one. And I think he did another one with Liam Neeson after, but he's not done anything since. So I'll have to try and look that one out. I think it's called Third Person, I think it's called. But yeah, The Next 3 Days, really good, tense thriller. Next up we have New Year's Eve, which is just a guilty pleasure of mine. I usually watch this every New Year's Eve. I don't think I did last year, but I do try and watch it every New Year's Eve just as a tradition. It's not a great film. It's got a really big ensemble cast. Not the best, but it's okay. It is what it is, I suppose. Then we have News of the World with Tom Hanks, which was was put straight to Netflix here, so I had to get this imported. I really like this. This is a Paul Greengrass film about a man that basically travels America telling the news, and it's just telling stories and stuff. And he comes across this young girl whose family's been brutally killed, and he agrees to take her to somewhere to be looked after, travelling hundreds of miles. And that's basically what they come across whilst they're travelling. And I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really good film. Can't go wrong with a bit of Tom Hanks. So yeah, that's News of the World. Then we have Nightmare Alley, Guillermo del Toro, one of his last films. I really liked this. I thought it was a really good psychological thriller. Bradley Cooper's good in it. Again, you've got quite a good ensemble cast. You've got Cate Blanchett, Toni Collette, Willem Dafoe, Richard Jenkins, Rooney Mara, Ron Perlman, Mary Steenburgen, David Strathairn. Just a really good ensemble cast. It's about a man who claims to be a psychic, I believe. And he basically doing this to get money off of people, and is this psychiatrist played by Cate Blanchett who's trying to prove that he's just a con man. It's quite a long film. It's 2.5 hours. But it's a good film. I enjoyed it. I thought it was decent. Next up, we have Night at the Museum 1 and 2. Another 2 childhood classics for me. Just really like them. Great family films. You got the late great Robin Williams in here as well. Ben Stiller's really good in this. Just 2 really good films. I do really like the third one as well, but I haven't got it yet. I will get it at some point. I did look at getting like a triple pack, but I don't think there is one, so that's kind of one of the reasons I've held off, because of space. Next up we have The Night Before, which is a Christmas film with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Seth Rogen and Anthony Mackie, about 3 friends that have been friends for a long time, and they have a tradition every Christmas Eve to just go crazy on a night out, but they have finally decided that they've become adults and they've got to stop it, so they try and do it one last time and make it the best they can. I remember there's a really good small performance from Michael Shannon in this. I just remember being really funny. I've not seen it for a while though. I'll probably try and get this in this Christmas, but yeah, that's The Night Before. Then we have Nightcrawler, one of Jake Gyllenhaal's best films, where he plays he takes photos of basically crime scenes and sells them to newspapers, and he thinks of a way to break the system and get more money. That's all I'll say. He's excellent in this. He completely transforms himself in this. This is definitely one of his best performances, up there with Southpaw for me. Um, yeah, just a fantastic edge of your seat thriller. Another great supporting performance from Bill Paxton as well. Yeah, highly recommend that one. Then we have Nights in Rodanthe, which is a romantic drama starring Richard Gere and Diane Lane, which is okay. It's a fairly enjoyable film. It's based off of the novel by Nicholas Sparks, who's one of my favourite. I don't know how you say. I like when his books are adapted into film. I don't know what the correct terminology for that would be, but you got another one coming up soon, in this list, and you got stuff like A Walk to Remember, Dear John, no, not The Vow, that wasn't one of his, I don't think. Safe Haven, that's what I'm thinking of. Um, The Lucky One, The Longest Ride. Yeah, I can't think of any others. Is The Lucky One? I don't even know if that is one. Am I thinking of something completely different? The Last Song, I think that's what I'm thinking of. Lots of films anyway, but this is a decent one. And if you like your romantic dramas, yeah, recommend that one. Then we have Night Shift, which stars the Fonz, Henry Winkler, and Michael Keaton in his first breakout performance. I think this was his first film anyway. Shelley Long as well, and it's directed by Ron Howard, and it's basically about this mortician. Is it what he works in the morgue, and he brings on Michael Keaton's character, who's a bit crazy, and they just want to try and make things a bit more fun. And a lot of things go wrong. Very funny film. Really enjoyed that one. Then we have Nim's Island, another childhood one for me. Jodie Foster, Gerard Butler, Abigail Breslin, about a young girl who lives on the island with her father, and her friends who are animals, and a reclusive author played by Jodie Foster, who never leaves her house, comes to find her on this island. Yeah, and Gerald Butler plays the hero in her books. It was a good film. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, so it's one that I'll definitely be watching again. Then we have 9 Months, which is a fairly new addition to the collection. It's a Chris Columbus film who did Home Alone, Mrs. Doubtfire, this, Stepmom, Bicentennial Man, Harry Potter 1 and 2. Really good resume, and he's currently directing the Thursday Murder Clubs, which I'm really looking forward to. Yeah, it's about a man and Hugh Grant's character, who's in a relationship with Julianne Moore's character, and find out that she's pregnant, and obviously 9 months, that's what the title comes from, and it's about their journey across the 9 months. He doesn't really know if he wants to be a father or not. And you've got Jeff Goldblum, who plays his best friend. He's really funny in it. You've got Robin Williams, who gives a fantastic performance as their doctor in this. He's just absolutely hilarious. Yeah, if you liked Mrs. Doubtfire, that sort of thing, that sort of comedy, you'll definitely enjoy this one. Very much the same sort of thing. And that was a German import, I believe. Then we have Nomadland, fantastic film, which won Best Picture in 2021. Frances McDormand, who plays Nomad, who goes around basically America, just trying to live in her van. Really good film. I've watched this a few times now. I just really enjoy it. Yeah, Nomadland. Then we have Non-Stop with Liam Neeson, a decent action thriller. I like when he does these sorts of films. You've got this, Taken, obviously, The Commuter, Cold Pursuit, all those sorts of films I really like. I think he's really good at those sorts of things. And in this one, he plays a U.S. Air Marshal, and he gets a call saying that if you don't deposit $150 million into a secret account, a passenger will be killed every 20 minutes. It's just a very tense thriller as he's trying to find out who this is, what's going on. Yeah, really good film this is. If you like your thrillers, really good one. Just don't watch it just before you're about to go on an airplane. Then we have Noah, starring Russell Crowe as Noah. A Darren Aronofsky film, one that I saw when it first came out. Can't remember anything about it, so can't really comment on it, but one I will go back to. Then we have No Reservations with Catherine Zeta-Jones and Aaron Eckhart, like a romantic comedy from the mid-noughties. If you like your romantic comedies about two chefs that don't get along, then they fall in love, your typical sort of thing, but one that I enjoy. Then we have North by Northwest, my personal favourite Hitchcock film, getting a 4K later this year, one that will definitely be going on my list to pick up. Just a great film, great spy film, Wrong Man. Hitchcock did a lot of these films. He's mistaken for a spy, I believe, and he basically got to go on the run, and it's really good scenery in this as well, whether it's the cropped dusting scene with the plane or Mount Rushmore at the end. Just a really great film. If you've not seen this, highly recommend, and I believe this was the first Hitchcock film I watched, so very good entry to go on, in my opinion. Then we have No Strings Attached with Natalie Portman and Ashton Kutcher. I remember enjoying this. It's one I'm going to rewatch to see whether it stays in the collection or not, because I don't know if it's just a generic rom-com that I'm just not going to watch again. So I will rewatch this and decide from there. On to the last pile, and we have The Notebook, the other Nicholas Sparks adaptation that I was talking about. Probably one of his best ones. Ryan Gosling, Rachel McAdams really put them on the map. Like a story of sort of like forbidden love, and it's really sad, especially the end. I mean, you got James Garner and the late Gina Rowlands who played the older versions of their characters. Yeah, really good romantic drama if you like them. Then we have Notorious, the story of the Notorious B.I.G., Christopher Wallace. His life story, basically how he got into music, how he shot up at superstardom, and then his untimely demise at a young age. Really good film. Angela Bassett playing his mother in this was absolutely excellent. Yeah, definitely one I recommend if you like your musical biopics. Then we have Notting Hill, one of my favourite romantic comedies with Hugh Grant and Julia Roberts. Yeah, just great. If you've not seen this, if you like your British films, put this right at the top of the list, because this is a great British film. I've watched this a lot of times, probably do a rewatch as well, so that's Notting Hill. Then we have two more. We have Now You See Me. I haven't got the second one that I need to get because they're doing a third one next year. Just a fun, magic, action sort of film. Not a lot of action in it, you know what I mean. Great cast. You got Jesse Eisenberg, you got Dave Franco, Woody Harrelson, Isla Fisher, Mark Ruffalo, the greats that are Michael Caine and Morgan Freeman. Just a great cast, a really enjoyable film. And then finally we have The Nun, which is definitely the weakest in the Conjuring series. That and The Curse of La Llorona. But it's okay, it's not too bad. I much prefer the second one. The second one is excellent, so much so that I've actually got it on 4K. But yeah, to be a completionist for my Conjuring Universe collection, I have it. Will I go back to it again? Who knows? Maybe when I'm rewatching them in preparation for the final Conjuring film next year. But yeah, that is it. That is all of the ends. Sorry it went on a bit long. Probably talked a bit too long. But yeah, that's me. That is it for this video. Let me know if you've got any of these. Are there any that are missing from my collection that you think I should have? Let me know down in the comment section below. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. And turn the notification bell on so you know when I have a new video uploaded to the channel. As I said, comment down below anything and everything. I always take the time to comment back to anyone that leaves me a comment because I really do appreciate it. And that is it. So until next time everyone, take care. Goodbye.